They came back. They were down 17. My heart was beating. I'm not gonna lie.
What is this? Unpaid sports? No, it's not. We started the show. I don't care. You guys can
the
do
Olympics. Look,
you guys
it's
are
the
watching
Olympics.
the
I'm
Olympics?
watching sports. Yeah,
No.
I'm watching
No,
sports I
no.
don't know about and pretending that I care.
I am like on such a weird tip because it's like you couldn't force me to watch the Olympics, but I also like don't think it's weird. Like I get why people like it. Like I think it's a the nice thing the world does. It's one of the few good things the world does.
It's true.
But I just, except for boxing, I like watching boxing. But that's just because I like watching boxing, right? I guess if American football was in,
Let's not talk about boxing in the Olympics.
Not right now.
There's a lot of controversy.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of controversy.
If you haven't been watching it, you're about to run into something very bad.
I know. Controversy, but controversy because people are idiots. Anyway, how's everyone doing?
You know how it goes.
Yeah.
We're here. We're live. Another week. You guys survived Lala.
We did. We survived all 4 days of Lala, including the largest set ever done.
I'm very proud of you guys.
Yeah. And we were
a mini Travis.
Yeah, we were.
It's pretty much the size of Travis Scott's shows in Europe.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Still shocking that happened because it wasn't for a headliner, right?
No,
she was,
but
not even a headliner.
Not a headliner, but it was like a up and coming star. That I think in the context makes perfect sense. We'll get to that. Anyway, Purvis, you want to run down the albums for us, good sir?
Yes, it actually ended up being a pretty stacked week.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty good stack of albums.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Start us off, we have Polo G coming out with Hood Poet. We're going to see a whole bunch of different features in there, some sounds from Future, Little Durk, G Herbo, Glorilla. Seems like it's going to be a pretty big album for this week.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge album for the kind of people who like all those artists.
Yes, I'm still waiting to get into my Polo G and Little Durk phase because I feel like I'm not Chicagoan enough. But I think it's going to come eventually. Maybe this is the week. We also have the return of Griselda. We have Benny the Butcher coming out with Summertime.
Griselda!
We will always be here for this. When in doubt, trust Griselda. We also have Diet Griselda. We have Larry June coming out with Doing It For Me. So Griselda adjacent.
Griseldito. Like Griseldita. Little Griselda.
But yeah. But other than that, we have probably what I think might be the biggest announcement. We have Lotto coming out with Sugar Honey Iced Tea. I did kind of tease this last week, but it's going to be huge.
This is a massive list of collaborators.
Absolutely. I was going to say all of the big female names in the game right now will be on this album. You're going to hear Megan Thee Stallion. You're going to hear Cardi B. You're going to hear Phil Millie. You're going to have Coco Jones. We also have Young Nudie out there.
I love
Tizo.
Coco Jones.
So we are going to have some shaking ass music.
I love that.
That's what we're going to have.
Yes, we are.
To be honest.
I love the South. Anyway.
We also have, and I might say this wrong, so I'm sorry, but I believe it's Asake coming out with Lungi Boys. I believe this is an artist from overseas, but he's going to have a couple of features from names that we do know. Travis Scott, Central C, Stormzy, WizKid. Looks like it's going to be a nice thing to kind of check out. I'm excited to do that. We have Mavi coming out with Shadowbox. This is someone I've been following for a while as well. I would say underground, but very similar to our old Sweatshirt style. We have the return of Logic after his 5th retirement. He's finally dropping Ultra 85. I'm sure my brother's excited for this.
I'm sure he is. Shout out Isaac.
Yes. It's been a while.
I don't know why we need to have him on the episode.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And then to close it out, we have Chloe coming out with Trouble in Paradise to give you a little nice R&B splash.
That's nice. That's a good stack of albums, actually. There's at least 3 I want to listen to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going through a Call of Duty phase right now, so I will.
Oh really?
I just get sad and need to shoot people.
Did you get NCAA?
No, I don't have any money.
Okay, fair enough. Well, never mind.
If someone wants to buy it for me, I will play it with you.
Okay.
Like I will play it. I think it looks great. Like
I technically didn't even buy it myself, so
maybe
I
not, maybe not great, but it does look good. Like it does look worth buying. Like
fair enough. Yes. I know it's been like a 10-year gap or something
yeah,
ridiculous. So, but anyway, moving on. We have a couple of singles. We have Travis Scott partnering up with Strick, coming out with Crash.
that'll be
We
fun.
have, yeah, absolutely. We have Lil Tecca coming out with Taste. We have the return of Joey partnering with Powers Pleasant, coming out with the Rumble. That should be super dope. And then last but not least, we have Kodak Black coming out with Hit Stick. I saw a meme
I'm
today.
good.
I saw a meme today. He was giving a speech to children about not doing drugs. And the reason was because drugs are cool and good, addictive, and fun. And you'll be addicted to it if you do it. And that was his reasoning. And he said this as he's holding a bottle with a blunt in his ear.
Sounds like Brandon.
Yeah, that is me. It's like the problem with drugs, guys, is that they're too good.
But you wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't say that to a kid, but I would say that
Exactly.
to like a lame 20-year-old. Like,
That
Jeff
is
Lawson
fair.
at that one. Like, no, I would never say that to like a kid in high school. That's irresponsible. But like, if someone's like in accounting and like needs a
That's
personality, it's like drink this bottle of cough syrup right now. Like,
Brandon's that way too old guy at a frat house party
no,
telling
I'm
kids.
I'm not a frat house guy, and you know that. Like,
He would never be found in the frat
you
house.
would never find me in a frat house unless I'm fucking there trying to collect something. Like,
Okay.
Shit.
Moving on to the rest of the news.
okay, the worst headline possible. I saw Drake at 100 gigabytes, and I thought it was over for dude. I thought he was catching a case. I thought he was gonna flee the country.
I was gonna say, I feel like I saw that all over Twitter.
I know, but it's because
is
it's
the moment.
obvious. Because everyone, this is the worst possible thing he could have done. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. I actually liked getting all the behind the scenes stuff from in the studio and from all the videos.
I'm not saying that it's not a cool concept in and of itself. I do. I think like making that stuff available to fans is cool. That's
the title is what was dangerous.
But like calling it 100 gigabytes, understanding what you were last in the news for, understanding that that specific thing has a connection with with like people having a lot of it, like like so.
But
I do agree. I think if the Kendrick beef had never happened, I think I'd be sitting here thinking like I didn't really fuck with any of the songs, but I thought it was a very cool release thing to do for sure.
Yes. I'm definitely not fucking with the songs. It's just like seeing the behind the scenes videos and in studio work. That's like
I think that's
because I did go through some of it.
I think that's yes, I agree. I think there's some artwork in there that's like very good. Like
seeing him get the camera on Pink Jacket was amazing.
Yeah, like I think like the idea was actually really, really cool. It's just the presentation of it was, in my opinion, awful.
It's a lot going on for him right now, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I can look past that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's something to be said about wanting to look past that and like talk about that on its own.
I'm just ready to move on.
Yeah.
Like,
well, but like, is he though?
Well, who cares? We'll find out.
But I'm just saying, like 21 like, are we going to talk about the 21 Savage verse?
Oh, so on top of that verse, apparently his own manager already came out and said that was not directed at Kendrick.
Oh, I had no idea. I only heard the verse.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a lot in the. I guess we should actually say what the heck it is. We've been talking about it. Drake released essentially 100 gigabytes of a mix of unfinished songs, some actual finished songs, a lot of different videos behind the scenes of like just him hanging out with like Stephen Curry, him in the studio, him practicing with Rihanna, a very wide range of things.
Gave a lot of some PDF files.
Yes. All on one website. You can go check it out. It is connected to some fake Instagram or something. So it is interesting. It seems like this is his next step. He did announce, or what Brandon was alluded to, part of it was a verse that came out that was from 21 Savage that seemed to be a diss. Or not even seem. it was pretty spot on.
Yeah, like I thought it was like if his manager clarified, that's fine. But like I thought it was pretty pretty obvious. Like it stuck out to me that
I agree.
yeah.
It seemed very obvious, and if anything, it probably was a diss, and this is damage control because we see what Kendrick is capable of. So his manager probably did come out and say it was not.
Because we also have no idea when these songs are from.
No,
you know,
not at all.
and that's fine. Like once again, I totally think that that's fine.
Within the 100 gigs, it gives the dates of when everything was
Okay.
done.
I don't remember what the date might have been.
It gives the date right on all the files
I might
on when
have to
they're
check
from.
that out.
Interesting.
But yes, this seems to be the first step of Drake maybe attempting to move on. It does not seem like he is interested at all in having any further conversation about the debate. He did announce, I don't think he's on tour, but he was at some kind of show, that the next album he'll be releasing will be this fall, and it will be a collab with Party Next Door. Now, I will say, as someone who was a Drake defender for not a lot of the beef, but at least the beginning of the beef.
I do think there's something to be said about like a lot of people, the beef bringing a lot of people in who didn't understand the nuance of like what was going on, and it's impossible to clarify that nuance without sounding like you're defending Drake.
Very true.
Like people come in and they talk about the Ghostwriters, and it's like, well, like the Ghostwriters are R&B singers. Right. You know, like
give him some credit.
Well, it's like it's not even like giving him credit. It's just like these are the facts of the situation, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Like,
but yeah, I honestly think this will be the best move that he can make. I don't know how connected you two are with Party Next Door, but every collab that he's had with Party Next Door has been pretty much a certified hit. It is more focused on the R&B side, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I like Drake with the melodies.
I mean, once again,
I think Drake should focus more on the pop R&B side.
I agree.
At this point of his career,
and I think in a vacuum, I hear Drake with Party Next Door. I'm like, that's cool. Like, I'm into that. Like, I don't like. I think like that's a good combination. I think that it's exactly what you said. Like, I like Drake with the melodies. Like, I don't mind this. It's just like. I think the weight of what happened this year, I don't think it can be undersold. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
no,
this was a huge, like the beef was a huge deal, and I'm very curious to see how this Drake project turns out. Not just creatively, but how it's responded to by like normies. You know,
interesting.
It's understandable
because I do think there's a good. I don't think this album's gonna flop, but I think it may disappoint. You know what I mean? Like, I think it may.
What do you think? Just curious.
Well, like
quality wise,
not quality wise. Well, first off, like quality wise is hard to say because like Drake's last project was not very good. Drake's last 6 projects were not very good. So it's like, what do you mean quality wise? But what I meant by that is just like pure listenership, pure like the things Drake cares about, right? Like, I don't give a shit about that stuff, but like Drake clearly does, and I wonder if this is even going to succeed. He's no longer the most streamed rapper in the world. Like, he's not. Is it going to be successful? Almost certainly. It's like a Marvel movie, right? Like a Marvel movie is like makes enough money to be successful on the terms of any movie. But like when they all start breaking $1 billion and one doesn't, like people are like, oh, is that a success? And it's like, well, I think we're kind of in that situation. And the other thing is like, I want to see like what's on the project, you know, because I hate to say it, but like I think like the better this album is, like the more right Kendrick looks, you know, like I think that there is like a like it's like a death vice here, right? Yeah. Like there's nothing he can do. Like even if this project is good, it just proves the point even more.
Which going off what Jeff said, I do think going forward, especially at this point of his career, he shouldn't even really be rapping.
No,
and I don't mean that in the rude way.
I shouldn't.
No, I agree with you guys. I think first off, I do think if there was ever a year for a Drake vacation for not to get that yearly Drake album, I think this is it. Like,
take a break.
Yeah, reset. I think take a break. Like, don't even do a collab. Recenter. You're aging like a president. Like, you know. But I think, I think this is the direction he should go post everything that happened. But we'll also see, like, you know, is the world going to even accept R&B music from someone whose most famous contribution to culture right now is,
I mean,
yeah,
R.
right,
Kelly.
right, but people don't listen if R. Kelly put out new music.
Yeah, but the difference between Drake and R. Kelly, all of R. Kelly's
is our
rules go to his victims.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge. Well,
all of his royalties.
That's a very good moral argument for still listening to him. But I don't know.
I know a lot of people, unfortunately, that still listen to R. Kelly.
I think as long as you're willing to admit that R. Kelly is a bad person and committed crimes,
he's a terrible person, and
should be in jail.
I'm not going to say I skip his songs.
I think as long as you think he's a bad person and should be in jail,
I think
that's enough. I literally do. I think if you think Kanye is a Nazi, you are allowed to listen to Kanye music, right?
Dude, I just listened to 808 in Heartbreak for the first time in months, years almost.
Dude, are we gonna? I'm so happy it actually didn't wind up. Did you guys hear this? The
Vultures 2?
Not Vultures 2. The dentist story that broke.
So,
yeah.
And you all who probably know more should talk about it, but I did hear about it in passing. But also was told whoever announced it was like a Nazi.
No, yeah. So 100%. The person who announced this information is a bad actor, a literal Nazi, like a Christian fascist. He was an openly gay man who claims that like the power of Christ converted him, but he still lives with his ex-husband. So no, he's the person who came forward with all this information is a bad human being and should die.
Okay.
But
I thought it was an ex-employee of his.
It is an ex-employee. It's his ex-chief of staff. Okay. The thing is, he was famous as a far-right agitator for about a decade before he was Ye's chief of staff. Right?
What's your life story? Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's a lot going on.
Yeah. So basically, he was a journalist at a far-right magazine who his whole thing was like, I'm gay, but also extremely far-right, so you're not homophobic for repeating these things. And then he went through the media circus, and then on the end of it, when Ye ran for president, he became his chief of staff. And basically, he revealed that...
he got addicted to nitrous oxide.
He got addicted to nitrous oxide, and his dentist...
When he was at the dentist, his dentist, gives him nitrous oxide.
And his dentist is, taking advantage of him, which is a very common thing. It's very common for doctors, especially doctors who look like this dentist. You can Google him, and he looks like a sketchy dude. I don't think I need a dentist with head tattoos. I don't think I ever need that.
Yeah.
But the things Milo put forward are very compelling, right? It's like if you saw a video of, he's showing I think he showed the prescriptions for I don't think, because it's not a prescription for nitrous oxide, because you can buy nitrous oxide just off the counter. The drugstore at the counter sells nitrous oxide to do recreationally.
What exactly is this drug?
It's laughing gas.
Laughing gas.
It's the thing they.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So people use it to get high if you just drink a little bit of it, right? And but obviously to get it in quantities and in higher potencies, you need someone who has a medical connection, specifically a dentist. So basically,
and he said that he's been talking about it and all that.
Yeah,
he's mentioned it in songs.
He's mentioned it in songs. If you actually go back on his social media, I was on the Reddit thread for it. People were posting one time at the end of last year when he posted in the middle of the night I'm gonna make a commercial for nitrous oxide, and apparently people are do you know how we were talking about the other day? I do feel like this is relevant. I'm on point. I'm gonna look in the camera. We're not doctors or lawyers, so take this with a grain of salt. We are 2.5 unemployed mooks. But so I just want to say this because I do think it's interesting, because I think it does very clearly.
It kind of adds up.
It all adds up, right? Because according to Milo, when this started happening was late last year, which was when you started seeing Kanye go from the Christian dad kind of thing.
Yeah.
To like launching Yeezy porn. That's why Milo left. Milo left because Kanye launched Yeezy porn. And because he's a Christian nationalist and he doesn't think porn should exist. And it's like, yeah. So it's like very compelling. I think it is a train wreck what is going on right now. I think Vultures too. I haven't listened to it. I didn't listen to it.
It's terrible. It sounds like AI made it. I bit the bullet and listened to it.
It is like quite literally AI.
And it sounds like AI made it.
Like it is literally him AI.
It's the worst album I've heard.
It is like quite literally him AIing his own voice.
Mm-hmm. There's lyrics. He mumbles worse than a mumble rapper.
Yeah, and I didn't even listen to Vultures 1. So it's like
Wait. I haven't heard Vultures 2. You're saying you think it's AI?
It is confirmed
I
haven't heard it.
I don't know if it's confirmed, but it sounds like AI.
I was watching Fantano, and he said that it was confirmed. It was Kanye AIing himself.
No.
Yeah. There's verses that are so like lyrics you can't understand. He's mumbling so bad that you can understand a mumble rapper. You can't understand Kanye.
You will.
If I understand Young Thug, I should be able to understand that.
Vultures 2 was so bad.
You can't.
Dude, Vultures 2 was so bad that people on the Kanye I heard about subreddit are apologizing to Anthony Fantano for calling Vultures 1 unreviewable.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. And that's like Kanye stans. That is like the people who like dedicate their life to this man.
I'm about to say ride or die.
Yeah.
And on top of that,
even they're rejecting this album. Like no one likes
And then you guys also heard how he came out and said he was drunk when he did the anti-Semitic rant on Nazi being like the Nazis and Jews and all that. He said he was drunk when he gave that.
I'm drunk all the time, and and I never say anything like that.
Oh man!
But that's a good transition into this.
Some other drugs.
But this is a good transition into our next news thread of the Atlantic Records threatening to take down Vultures 1 and 2.
Oh, can you explain this to me? Because I saw what happened. Does anyone want more? Like, I saw this like briefly today because I know this is like very current.
So he posted on his Instagram story that he got a text from I forget who, that the head of Atlantic Records got fired. So they got someone else in there, and I think he has to. I don't. It depends on how your deal is, I guess. So I guess this is like what they do with independent artists. If you don't get a certain amount of streams or a certain amount of albums sold, you have to pay for all that.
I think they said like up to 40% or something.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So Vultures 1 and 2 have done so poorly.
That's nuts. Because I don't doubt Vultures. Like, you tell me that about Vultures 2, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Because like even the Kanye crazies are like rejecting it.
They're streaming it. They're not buying it.
That makes sense. You're totally right. But like, even I know you and Purvis and Jasper didn't like love Vultures 1, but you guys listened to it.
I did listen to Vultures 1.
Yeah.
Like, and
I did not listen to Vultures 2.
And like but how often do you go back to it?
Never.
Vultures 1?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never gotten back to it. I said it the week that I listened to it, I would never revisit it.
Okay, well that makes sense.
I'm glad that I listened to it, but I was never going to revisit it.
That literally makes sense. I wonder how many people are in your position. Like, I wonder how many people did. Like, because I don't know. Like, I don't know how many people
songs off of it to revisit. There's nothing to revisit.
Yeah. The only people that are revisiting it are like high schoolers now.
Yeah. And like I keep getting like on my Spotify shuffle that Carnival song, and it's like this is like a bad song. Like everyone's acting like that's like a good Kanye song. Like it's as good as Flashing Lights. Like get away from me.
Luckily, I didn't hear that, because if I heard that, then yes, I would have pushed back. I think Carnival is a good song. I don't think it's a good Kanye song. I don't think it could be compared to anything on the rest of his discography. There are like at least 2 or 3 good songs off of Vultures 1 that like I still am not gonna go re-listen to it.
Yeah,
it's just
it's nuts. Like I don't think we will ever see another Fall from Grace this insane.
If you told me this kind of story like 5 years ago, I would have like just laughed in your face. There's no way. But yeah,
And they're dude, he's just not mentally not there.
it,
Like you
No,
can't
he's
blame it on
going.
him.
No, you can't blame it on Kim. I think.
and
I
people
think.
used to do that too.
I think. Yeah, you're right. And I don't think you. And I think we were all proven wrong. I never said that. I don't think any of us ever said like, "Oh, it's Kim making him act like this." But like,
People just thought in general, the Kardashians a little,
well, and they kind of are, but like,
yeah, a little sketchy.
like they're not wrong.
They
But
don't have a
like,
good history.
they're not wrong.
It
The
all stems from the
Kardashians.
mother.
Yeah, but
that mother was something.
But like now,
You're wrong.
Kanye's just surrounded by people because like apparently even his new girlfriend is like helping facilitate this nitrous habit.
It's his wife.
Yeah,
They're
Bianca,
married.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
the
have no
one
idea.
that's naked every time I see her.
yeah.
And I guess Kanye dresses her. He wants her to dress like that.
Jesus, Lord help.
Nuts.
It's been a year.
Anyway, let's talk about a good music boy who doesn't make me so upset because I never
Yeah,
liked
Sean.
him that much. Big Sean.
Large Sean.
I mean, I
Large
do
Sean.
like him, but so he's pushing his album back. It was supposed to come out this week. He's pushing it
Yes.
back. I think he said 2 weeks or a couple of weeks. I don't know if he was vague.
He was vague. It was a couple of weeks. He said the music is fully complete. He said, "Don't worry, everything is good to go." He did push it back because he wants to set up tour dates and listening parties. Which,
I respect that.
yeah, it's cool. I get it, but I don't know. I would have just taken.
I feel like if you, I don't know. On one hand, I think if an album is good, I don't think anyone cares that you actually pushed it back.
Yeah.
Right.
Then
If
it better
an
be good.
album comes out and it's good, like people are going to forget quickly that it was pushed back.
Especially if you want to do a bigger rollout.
Especially if you want to do a bigger rollout. Especially if you're someone like Big Sean who has a consistently good catalog, but not any standout greats. I feel like besides for maybe Detroit too.
I decided, but that's just a personal.
Sure, but and like once again, I'm not saying his catalog's bad. I'm saying it is consistently good. But for someone like Big Sean, like I think his problem's been like he's never really popped, and I do think like this is his way to do that. So, no, I feel like if you would all support the fact that music is a business, like this is kind of just part and parcel of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
So-
You take it all in one.
Yeah, so I hope it comes. Honestly, I hope it comes out and we're like, oh, we should review this because
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully.
because well, I hope it's good, not good enough, but interesting enough. You know, because I did
I
love
respect
this.
it. I respect it because, like, if you're gonna do an album rollout and have a tour attached to it, you're just. I just like that.
Yeah, no, I
'Cause then,
agree.
you don't have to wait, and it's gonna be probably what you figure a winter tour. You figure he'll probably kick it off,
Yeah,
Yeah.
or maybe
And-
like
Even sooner, to be honest.
and another thing, like
maybe early spring next year.
I agree. Yeah, no, definitely, and I agree with you. I think I generally prefer when people do that, like when they launch everything at once. Although I do think, like I think Schoolboy Q is a great example of this. I do think if you do it differently, I think as long as you deliver, I think it's ultimately okay. But yes, I agree with you.
Mhm.
Like I think if you put on a great concert, I think it's ultimately fine if it's several months, even a year after the album comes out. If it's a good tour.
Right. And I
yeah.
do think he
Yeah.
can sell. Maybe not sell out, but I do think he
No,
can do
he
the
could
year
sell.
better.
He's huge. He's popular, right?
Yes.
Like I have no.
He has a lot of hits.
He has
than
a
albums.
lot of hits. Big Sean is huge with normies. Like the kind of people who would not be caught dead listening to a music podcast love Big Sean.
Yeah, he has a lot of hits that you can end up playing like on a pop station.
Yeah, right.
100%.
But he's still good. Like I don't hate him. I just I think he's Ugh. But yeah, no, Big Sean moving his album back. That's cool. All right. So big topic this week.
Two old guys go to Lollapalooza
And didn't kill themselves.
and made it out safely.
Made it out pretty safe.
I'm very proud of you guys.
Pretty convenient too. And we were in the thick of it for a lot of it. So
Yeah.
this was we've covered Lollapalooza every year we've had this podcast. So we're doing it this year. Me and Jeff were there all 4 days. It was basically the vacation I'm taking this year. This was the best music festival I've ever been to. This is the best music festival weekend full set I've ever done. I've gone to Riot Fest all 3 days a bunch of times. Lollapalooza I've been to most of like the last 6 years, but not everyone. And this is the only second time I've gone all 4 days. And other ones like I've done in my house, and I think I've been to Pitchfork. I'm not sure. I think I went with Christian.
Summer Smash.
Summer Smash. I've been Summer Smash all 3 days once. This was by far the best complete festival experience of my life.
And you know what's funny is like the older audience that was there is saying that the younger audience are just trashing it. Like they say it was one of the worst years ever.
I did. Here's the thing. Like on one hand, it's crazy because it's like you go to Summer Smash and it's like, it's all the worst people at Lolla, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why like I have not a hot take. I think this is a fairly cold take, but like I think the idea of like a single genre music festival, with the exception of anything in like the EDM sphere, is a mistake. I think bringing in like diverse crowds, like keeps everything like copacetic, keeps everything flowing. It keeps it from having like certain vibes take over the festival. Right now, I won't lie. I saw the grossest thing I will ever see. I saw the grossest thing I've ever seen in a music festival this weekend. So it's not like it was fucking spotless. But
wasn't that guy peeing at Tizo?
Yeah, it was the guy peeing at Tizo. He just pulled out his dick and started pissing at Tizo, and it was the grossest thing I've ever seen.
Ah, jeez, man.
Yeah, we didn't see the dick; it was facing away from us, but still, it doesn't matter. Like,
didn't change much, right?
Doesn't change my feelings on the situation at all, actually. Like, but like, just comparing it to Summer Smash this year, it felt like being around adults. It felt like being around, like, even when I was bruised going to Flo Milli at Summer Smash. Like, some girl fucking elbowed me in the gut like a hockey player, right? And versus like Chappell Roan, which was probably had more people at it than all of Summer Smash. And I was, fine. It was stressful for sure because of how many people were there, 100%. But like, no one hit me. Like,
I don't know her music. Is it like?
It's like
because I feel like Flo Milli, you can kind of get into it. You could.
It's pop. It's pop.
She's pop.
It's synth
She's
pop. It's synth pop, but at the same time, like people go crazy for anything. Like the most intense the most intense crowd I've ever seen was actually for My Chemical Romance, which isn't pop either. They're very much like an emo band, but like they're an emo band with a very similar audience to Chappell Roan, and that was the most not violent, but like the most aggressive crowd I've ever been in. And this was just so chill, and I think the lineup was like very well done.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll kick it off with how Thursday went.
Yeah, so we were there Thursday. We showed up, and I think we
got there at like early afternoon, so like I think 2-ish.
Yeah,
we got there, and it kicked off with Big X the Plug.
Yep.
Well, I've been talking about so much since I've joined this. He is phenomenal, and now Brandon started listening to more of him.
I've listening to him a lot. I listened to him last year when Lone Star Luchador came out. But yeah, no, not as much as Jeff. And we only saw the back half of his set, but it was.
But we saw all the good songs.
Yes, we did.
All the good songs.
Yeah, we saw all the good songs. He did Texas. He did Drink Don't Need No Mix. The song with Shabuzi. He did Whip It.
He did Whip It.
He did a bunch of.
And
yeah, and
I am in favor. I just haven't.
No, you should listen to. It's so Texas, dude. It is so Texas.
Everything I've heard,
it is so Texas.
Yeah, it is so Texas.
He's phenomenal.
Also, big boy representation. I like it.
He puts on a better show than Lucky.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, he's like very still on the stage, obviously, because he's a big guy, but like his vocal presence is nuts. Like he
doesn't sound out of breath.
No, he is enunciating. He is clear. It is the whole thing.
And it was a hot day.
And a hot day, right? He's and he's like
he had his shirt off. He was just.
And here's another thing. Like he had that big ass chain on. I don't know if you guys noticed that every time someone wears a concert with a big ass chain, they end up taking it off. Not Big X the Plug. Like he took off his
chains are sweaty and heavy. So
and it's a hot day. It'll burn, not burn you, but like it'll, it'll hurt.
Yeah.
Like,
it'll get warm.
But this was as far as like music discovery goes. This was This was the first thing we saw and the highlight of the weekend for me. As far as like
He's a guy that I can see being on like a big stage at Summer Smash next year.
100%. I could definitely see him going off at Summer Smash. I was actually shocked because like the artist I always compare him the most to is that Mexican OT because they collab a ton. They're both from Texas.
Mhm.
They sound similar, right? And I was shocked because like I've seen that Mexican OT grow, and I get that this is an imperfect metric, but it's what I have. And I usually use like Spotify followers, right? So I started listening to that Mexican OT when he had like less than 500,000, and now he's at like 7 million, right? And I always thought he was the more popular of the two. And then I looked at Big X the Plug. He has like 20 million listeners.
That man
Like,
is huge.
Yeah, yeah, it was like crazy, but that's Texas.
That's true.
But yeah, no,
Bitch, I'm from Texas.
bitch, I'm from dude. That song goes so hard. It was so
It's one of my favorite songs.
it's so good. But yeah, no, this was great. And we were kind of like all in this area, so it set us up perfectly for the next two acts. Tyla, I don't have much to say about. So the next one we saw was Tyla, the South African like pop R&B artist.
She is blowing up.
She's
right now.
huge. She's super talented. Like
He sounded phenomenal.
she sounded phenomenal. I also think now is a good time, especially considering who we're going to talk about next. Like stage presence and dance. Like she's like a very talented dancer. So not only does she have this amazing vocal presence and these like really like fun hits, but she's just an amazing dancer too. So it was like a very
Kind of similar to SZA.
Yes. Yeah. The only difference
as
was
far
being
as
that SZA makes music I prefer. But like but yes,
Yeah.
I do
No, SZA's better, but I compare her to SZA.
I would say 100%. Yeah. She's maybe a little bit
I
more
would have loved to see Tyler.
She was
Like
fantastic.
her ceiling is SZA.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with that. And also, important piece of context for as we talk about all the acts we went to. My girlfriend Rachel was with us the whole time. So when you were like, "Oh, we saw Tyler and Chappell Roan back to back," it's like, yeah, there was a girl with us. Like, it's like
I was just following along.
Yeah. Although I would have saw
I would have seen Tyler, no question. I don't care who was with me.
Yeah. Well, I think you would have liked. Yeah, you would have liked Tyler. Tyler was very good. But
yeah. You would have loved her. I think.
Yeah, I think
Purvis.
100%.
Yeah, awesome stage show, fantastic. But after that was probably the biggest set of the weekend, I would say. Well, the biggest set of the weekend, but like
the biggest set we've ever been part of.
Yeah, and like the biggest like cultural moment, I think. Like seeing, like I've seen people who I don't think have ever lived in Chicago talking about this Lollapalooza set. Like
She's been blowing up,
dude. It is nuts. Like how much? Like first off, seeing this is the fastest I've ever seen someone rise to.
We're talking about Chappell Roan.
Yes,
we're talking about Chappell Roan.
Now we're talking about Chappell Roan. Now we are talking about Chappell Roan. Chappell Roan's.
She had probably 90,000 people.
Dude, she shared
in front of her stage.
Okay, so I don't know how much of this fact is, but she shared like a article from Entertainment on her Instagram today, who put the number at almost 110.
How does that even get counted?
I believe it's not going to be close to that because it's 115,000 that they sold out to, and that's including staff.
Yeah.
So if it was 110, the other two stages would have like no one.
Yeah.
Or the other like 7 stages.
But like I have heard that like when Chappell was on, the other stages did have like almost no one there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But they still had a couple thousand.
Sure. Yeah, a couple thousand. I also am just because like I know. Just because we know, according to Lollapalooza, every day sold out. But we were also there all weekend, and it was very obvious that there were way more people there Thursday than every other day. So, like, I take those numbers with a grain of salt. I definitely think they overbooked this. I would not be shocked if there was 140, 150,000 people at Lollapalooza that day. So I think that then that 110 number does not become so crazy.
A moment I will never forget is her doing Hot to Go.
Dude,
I was literally about to say that.
Dude, Hot to Go is fiend for women. It is just...
we were like literally in the middle of that crowd. She was literally shaking around.
So trust me, I get
it's a very
even
good
that
song.
It is a good song.
Yeah, it's a very
we were
good
like
song.
We were stage right center. and like hearing and seeing everyone spell out "Hot to Go."
It was
Yeah.
nuts, dude.
It's a chant. It's a perfect song for a
It's the
festival.
perfect song, and
Like YMCA.
100%. It really is. No, and
Yeah.
her aesthetic for the festival was really cool. The thing
She came out in a luchador mask. It
She
was all
came out in
wrestling themed.
Oh, that's kind of hard.
She hired some of the biggest women bodybuilders to be part of her set.
It was insane. Yeah, I love that.
The only thing I can think of is I would let her body slam me.
Dude, she's nuts, man. I love that every single like Chappell Roan set has like a different theme, and we got wrestling. That's fucking hilarious.
I think I broke Purvis.
It's a rite of passage. You're not on the unpaid nobodies if you don't break Purvis every once in a while. Like,
it's funny because like I was gonna say something crazy about Tyler, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna say anything crazy. And then you're like, I would let her body slam me. I'm like, okay, there.
Yeah.
Hey, you were not there.
Yeah, and it's very.
If you were there in the middle of a set,
some,
Purvis, you would have said the same.
Yeah, no, she was fine, and it's very funny that it's like, oh, I've seen 2 artists now come out in a luchador mask in the last 2 months, and they could not be more different.
I was gonna say very different people.
Yeah, it's like that Mexican OT and Chappell Roan, like. And then she closed with Pink Pony Club, which I think was an anthem. One of my favorite song performances of the weekend was her closing with Pink Pony Club. And remember that will become relevant later. Like,
yes,
I mean, she's been blowing up like
insane,
something I've never seen before.
And apparently, like Rachel's been
and she was supposed to be on a smaller stage. Yeah. She was supposed to be on a smaller stage.
Yeah,
and then like within 2 weeks, they realized we should probably move her because she's blowing up bigger. Because like they saw her concert or her performance at Coachella and how big that crowd was, and then she was on a smaller stage at Bonnaroo. Wow. And then they moved her to a bigger stage, and they saw her fill that bigger stage. So that's what convinced Lala to move her.
So like, obviously, I'm ignorant, so I'll just say that out front. Why is she blowing up so much? I mean, I get it. I've heard her
music's good.
Her music's good. It's very unapologetic. And the other thing is that she's blowing up right now. But the thing is, like Pink Pony Club, I heard that song when me and Rachel started dating. Like that song came out in 2020 and it's been like a slow build, right? It's kind of like, I remember last year, like, Rachel had said something. It's like, oh, I never heard of JID before. Now JID's everywhere. And it's like, well, we were listening to JID in 2019, you know?
Right.
And it's just because of where you are, where you consume your music. Mm-hmm. She's blowing up now. And I think it's because her album, which is very good, came out at the end of last year. So it's just like that inertia. She was like kind of a smaller artist. She had a lot of viral hits with a very like influential crowd, like young queer women are just like, you know, culture makers. So like,
I feel like there's been a void in pop music
for someone like Chappell.
For someone like Chappell that needed to be filled because like Lady Gaga, she doesn't really make music anymore.
Yeah, and she doesn't.
It's very rare for her to put out something.
And she doesn't make the big fun pop music like she used to when she does.
Exactly. All we really have in pop is like Taylor Swift.
Who is like a very specific kind, you know?
Exactly.
Or we have like, yeah, and it seems like a lot of pop stars now are rappers, and like that's great because like Megan Thee Stallion and Doja Cat are like serious rappers that hip hop heads like us can take seriously. But I can understand to like an audience of young women why that would create a space for someone like Chappell Roan to really blow up.
And like as someone who used to work for a hot AC station, it's like radio has been fiending for someone like Chappell because it's the same. You're hearing the same artist put out new music almost yearly. So I think that's part of it because they're like the commercial radio aspect of things has been fiending for this for a long time.
New sound. Yeah. I get that.
No, definitely.
That was going to be my next question because like I don't know what her demographic is at all.
It's women. It's just young women, and I can definitely. And I think another thing is that for me, at least, you know, there's like some songs where it's like, oh, I like it. Not that it feels weird, but it's just like it's hard to connect to as a man. Not Chappell Roan. Yeah. Chappell Roan is just, it's too catchy. The songs are too well written. She's too good of a singer. She has too much personality. Like I am the kind of person who would just, who could appreciate someone like a Chappell Roan. I don't want to use.
She reminds me of kind of like Gwen Stefani almost.
Yeah, she reminds me of Gwen Stefani. She reminds me a lot of like a. To me, she reminds me a lot of like a young Gaga.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I bring the Gwen Stefani aspect because you can get a lot of men listening to Gwen Stefani, not so much Lady Gaga.
And
Yeah.
now, like especially after this set, I think a lot more men are. But
Yes,
and it was just this was the set of the weekend, right? Like in
Mhm.
terms of just like cultural influence, cultural impact. This is the set of the weekend. It was this probably the most culturally big moment I've ever been a part of. Probably like maybe
same here.
like I even think it as far as like cultural significance. I think it blows away the Renaissance tour, which I saw last year, which was huge. Maybe not in terms of like overall production value and like I still like Beyonce more than Chappell Roan, but like in terms of like, oh shit, this is a moment in history, right? Like I have a young niece.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah, I have a young niece
Yeah.
now. Like I don't think it's crazy to think that she's gonna ask me what it was like to be there in 15 years.
Exactly. This was an I was there moment.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, and it was wonderful to be there. Moving
And after
on,
this, we kind of split up.
we split up, and then you saw Benson Boone and caught up with me when I saw Hosier. So
Yes.
dive quickly. We'll do Benson Boone and Hosier quickly so we can get to more.
I know you guys probably haven't heard Benson Boone. He's a pop artist. He only has 2 albums out. He's really good. He's kind of like, don't forget where you came from, appreciate your friends, don't forget you have your friends if you have them.
Yeah.
So just like if you're going through a hard time, he's like that type of artist that can really help get you through it. So
How'd you find him?
he through work when we played a bunch of his songs on the star stations. So that's how I came across him, and he just does a lot of great crowd work, and he has a lot of female listeners, but also a lot of male listeners. But he's just like I said, he's just one of those artists. If you're going through a hard time, he's going to be one that
positivity.
yes, very positive.
It very focused on positivity. I listened to a couple of his songs, like just like the ones we listened to on the ride home, and then a couple more like earlier this week, like, just in the decompression between the festival and now. I think a lot of stuff like that comes across as corny. I don't think Benson does. You know what I mean?
No, he has that talent,
very
and
authentic.
his stage presence is phenomenal. I think he's doing backflips, like numerous backflips.
Yeah.
Not even like legs tucked backflips, like legs straight backflips.
Nuts.
Yeah. I just pulled him up because I didn't know who he was, and I have heard of Beautiful Things, and I understand why he has a large female demographic.
Yeah.
Well, because of his looks.
Yes, it kind of makes sense. I get it.
And we'll go into the 6'6" Irishman. Hosier.
Yeah, the first.
Wait. Benson Boone is 41st in the world.
What?
In like listeners.
Yeah.
He has 53 million.
And he only has 2 albums. 2 albums, and one just came out.
I'm sorry, that kind of.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I didn't mean to cut you off. That's crazy. But go ahead, Hosier. I'm sorry.
Oh, so we got to the first headliner, a 6'6" tall Irishman named Hosier, or as I like to call him, the White Frank Ocean. This was awesome. This was
the
awesome.
weather. It started to kind of thunder and lightning in the background. Storm was coming in. It turned into a complete vibe. Like another perfect moment.
Vibe.
Him closing with "Take Me to Church" and the rain falling made it a complete vibe.
Incredible, yeah. And like he kind of like some songs kind of had more of like a singer-songwriter vibe. A lot of them had like a rock vibe because he was out there with a band. He did, and this is going to be a theme throughout the rest of the weekend. He did unreleased music, which was sick. He actually used this to announce that he would be releasing more music, and actually over the weekend he did. It's going to be, I think, in 2 weeks. This song's going to come out. But a lot of unreleased songs this year, and just nuts. And this guy, he doesn't have a ton of albums, but he is just like an artist. Like I think like if there's anybody in not outside the hip hop sphere who has like a lyrical talent that could compete with Kendrick Lamar, I think it's Hosier.
Yes.
Like Like,
I have to get into the whole
Very
shit.
lyrical.
no, like 100%. Like his song "I Carrion" is insane. Is insane. It is Mortal Man level of lyrical genius.
What
Mhm.
album should I listen to?
You should listen to his first one first. You should,
Okay.
definitely, because it has his hits. It has like his earlier songs. It was just very wonderful. I love that he used his Irish heritage to get people to contact the representative about Gaza, because
That's cool.
yeah.
I went nuts during that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I went nuts.
as an
Talking
Irish,
about the Irish.
yeah, as a guy with an Irish tattoo and good opinions on Gaza, you just were very spoken to. Like,
that's me.
Oh, yeah, I'm Irish.
I love that. Okay,
but yeah, so
I'm gonna have to listen to him.
No,
I don't
he's
know
fantastic.
if I've ever dived into him.
I would, if you're gonna dive into him, start with his hits. Start with I like Work Song. I think that's my favorite of his songs. I also love
I like Too Sweet.
Too Sweet's fantastic. That's Rachel's like favorite song now.
What are you guys' song? You said you guys have a song.
Oh, Work Song.
You and Rachel. Okay.
Yeah, Work
My
Song.
bad.
And Take Me to Church is also incredible. Yeah.
Okay. You've hyped them up. I will tap into it.
And then Friday we were not there as much. We only got there like at 5. So we only
We got there pretty later because we didn't want to see really anyone that was early.
Yeah, we only saw 3 sets intentionally. And then we saw once. We were just hanging out at Renee Rapp when Chance the Rapper came out. But we started off.
I mean, we caught the second half first set.
We totally did. We totally did. But Jeff, do you want to introduce Loud and Luxury, because I did not hear of these guys until the day before. And
yeah, Loud and Luxury. They're a house.
They're a house EDM
techno group. EDM.
Okay.
Like I don't even know how I came across them.
Yeah,
I just came across them through like I think a mix or whatnot. So they do a bunch of like house EDM, but with their set, it's pretty interesting because Bobby Shmurda is kind of trying to revive his career as a EDM artist.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they played an unreleased song with Bobby Shmurda, who's trying to turn his career around. Cool like that. So we should be hearing that sometime soon. But it was so wild. Like we're just standing there, and then me and Brandon look at each other like, "What? Bobby Shmurda?
Yeah.
What? Like what?
What's going on here?" Wait. You guys didn't see Sexy Red?
No. She was playing when we walked in, but I was like, no, I have no. The second she started supporting Trump, I was like, I'm done. Like, this is not worth ski. And
I just had no intention.
And me and Jeff's friend Annette was at Sexy Red because she was camping out for Stray Kids, and
did she like it?
She said it was fucking awful.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
And she's not someone.
She was camping out for Stray Kids all the way then.
Yeah, she was there all day. Dude, the K-pop fans are a different thing, dude. They are legion. You cannot.
They're a different breed.
They're a different breed.
They will stand there all day just so they can be close.
Chappell Roan didn't even have that. Right? The biggest star of the weekend didn't even have people camping out like that. K-pop fans are built different and worse.
I was literally gonna say I don't know what Stray Kids is. As soon as you say K-pop, say no more. I understand.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I already
know. But yeah, Loud and
Luxury. Yeah, and then they played Hot N-Word.
Hot Buddy.
Bobby Shmurda played.
Yeah.
Nice. The first time being played in a long time, probably.
I think the thing I really liked about
it was like this was actually the worst performance I've ever seen.
Yeah, this was not good. It was a fun moment.
It was a fun moment, but he was not good.
Yeah,
no, he was not.
He's been in jail for some years. So.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And then we made our way over to the other side.
Yeah.
Waiting for Kevin Abstract, so we caught Renee Rapp, and she had a surprise appearance by Chance the Rapper.
He came out and performed, no problem. One freaking rapper.
I know.
Can he come out to
his
one
name is Chance the Rapper
once?
I know.
It's in his name. Come out once to a rap artist. Why are you a guest to this person? Who is this? I'm sorry.
She's like another pop artist, so I really haven't heard of her.
Man, this is some bullshit. Chance pissing me off.
But from what I heard, she sounded good.
She sounded
good. Like she put on a good performance.
She had like great presence. We heard No Problem start. We looked over. It's like, oh, there's the guy. There he is. Apparently, also came out.
They don't even have a song together.
Huh?
They don't even have a song together.
No.
Dude, if I see him, I'm gonna slap the mess out of him.
Dude, this not. I don't even think this is as bad. The worst ones though, because like The worst one was when we saw him when we saw Childish Gambino and he came out across the park with plain white tees.
That's my point. That's
Yeah.
my point.
No,
Sometimes
it's not plain white tees.
was it?
It was
You said somebody else before. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't think it was plain white tees. I remember this story. It was somebody
Death
else.
Cab
though.
for Cutie.
I don't remember who.
Death
Yes.
Cab-
there we
I
go.
think that
Yes,
was it.
Death Cab
Death
for
Cab-
Cutie.
Yes.
Same fucking thing. Like
'Cause they had a song together on his newest album back
yeah.
then.
But like last year when he came out with like Joey Badass and like Peter Cottontail, it's like, okay, that one's on me.
Yeah, they'll take that one. That's okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. Me walking away, I was too drunk to get food, and missing him come out to Joey Badass. I'm pissed about.
I didn't see him come out for
Damn you,
Apparently he
Tito's.
came out with Tizo, and I didn't see that.
He came out with
Yeah, he
Tizo.
came out. He came out and congratulated Tizo.
Yeah.
And Chance on some other stuff. He irritated me right now.
But after Renee Rapp, we saw Kevin Abstract,
That's
who
dope.
was
Yeah.
pretty good. He
He
played
was really good. He was very
some
eccentric.
Brockhampton stuff.
Yeah, he did a lot
Yeah.
of Kevin Abstract stuff, but he also brought back some Brockhampton shit.
And he brought him
some
to
bangers.
guests.
No, he didn't bring any guests.
No.
Dude, he also did
bruh.
not do like my favorite Kevin Abstract song, and it makes me mad because the guest on the song was literally on stage with him, and they didn't do it. Like,
Okay, that's annoying.
Yeah, like-
that's actually annoying.
but like his performances, like his singing was fucking unreal. I'm not gonna lie, he was a
He
little
was on par.
yeah, he was a little. He was, for a rapper, I thought he was great. He's not as good as like a singer, but like
Mm.
he was a little eccentric. I'm like, hey, he's on coke a little bit, like. But it was good. We got Gummy.
He said he lost his voice in the middle of the set.
I believe
Yeah.
that.
And he went hard. Like dude showed up and put on a performance, and I was very happy to see it. He did a really strong mix of like all across his discography. I got to hear my shooters speak Spanish. My shooters only speak Spanish in person.
I was just gonna say I'm not gonna cap to you. I'm not gonna lie. What Brockhampton songs
He
do?
did Gummy, which is
Okay.
that song. He did Bleach.
Okay.
He did Buzzcut, the song that has Danny Brown.
Okay.
Who Let the Dope Boys Out? And he did some other ones I don't remember.
Okay.
but
That's fine.
He was fantastic.
That was my real question.
He was fantastic. Like, this is honestly the perfect festival set because I don't know. I mean, I probably would because of how much of a Brockhampton fan I was, but like, I don't know how likely I am to go see Kevin Abstract on his own. But like, given the context of like, oh, SZA's playing across the way, of course, you know.
I'm shocked that he closed out one of the stages, and that's not meant to be disrespectful.
Yeah,
He
he didn't like he closed out one of the stages, but
It
he
was a
was
small stage.
he was practically the opener for SZA, which I don't
Okay.
think is which I don't hate
That's
at
fine.
all. Yeah, but
Yeah,
like
I'm down for
No.
that.
yeah, that's probably the way to think of it is that he opened for SZA, who
I like
one
The
of
queen.
the queen, a consummate
queen.
performer, absolutely.
Her stage show was phenomenal.
Dude,
That is the one
The
I
laser shows
openly-
were nuts. Her like the production.
The laser show got me stupid. Like,
Yeah,
we had to
dude,
walk away. 'cause
we
I
had
got
to
so
walk
fucked
away.
up.
I missed my
had
favorite
to
song
I-
by her, but that's fine because one, the safety of my friends is most important, and two, I'd already at that point decided that the next time she's on tour, I have to be there. So it's like
I will be there. Yeah. 100%.
No, I was
that is-
100%. I was 100% like
Yes.
I'm 100% seeing this woman again.
I regretted missing this more than Future. Believe it or not.
And you should, but no, she
we'll
was
talk about that. Yes.
she was fantastic. I think the sequence of songs she did was incredible.
She did a Prince cover. She did a Doja Cat cover.
She did.
I
yeah,
love
She did a Drake cover.
God, I can't wait.
She did Rich Baby Daddy.
yeah.
She did
But
Kiss Me
she's
by
on
Prince, and then
but
Kiss Me
she's-
One More.
Not Kiss, but Kiss Me More. She's on that song.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
but yeah, the Kiss
her
Prince
and The
cover.
Weeknd. Yeah.
The Prince cover was a highlight of the weekend. I thought that was so cool.
hmm
Rachel looked back at me and she's like, "This is my favorite Prince song. This is the song my family would play like when we were cleaning the house."
Love that.
Love
that.
yeah.
Love that.
She did like
That's
a mix, like when she did "Go Gina," which is one of my favorite songs by her. She included elements of "Big Papa" by Notorious B.I.G. It was awesome.
God, I
Fantastic.
should have just.
No, she
bought
was a
Saturday
queen.
tickets.
She was
Right.
a queen, right? Like I have no fucking like no complaints about her show.
This is a god. I don't care what it
Yeah.
is.
I think there were full stop
She
for
did
me.
all the stars.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she did all the stars. Yeah,
All
it
the
was-
start. I'm pissed because I tried posting video of her performance, and Sony keeps flagging it no matter what file size, like how long or whatnot. And that's the only time it's ever happened. It
Oh,
was that,
Charles
and
out
then
with the weekends and good days, dude.
yeah. The
Yeah.
only other song that got flagged that I posted was "Not Like Us"
Yeah.
Yeah.
by Kenny Beats.
That's
Okay,
hilarious.
I get that. That makes sense. That's trending right now too.
I
I'm
thought
looking at the
Kendrick
lineup.
took the
I'm sad.
copyright off all that.
Yeah. But no, she was fantastic.
A 10 out
And
of 10 must see.
10 out
I
of 10
will
must
be
see.
seeing her next time she's in Chicago.
Debatably my favorite headliner. Debatably. You
Love
know.
that.
Yeah, just because
Yeah.
it's a different vibe, and we'll talk about which one, when we get to the end. But Saturday was our most hip hop centric day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we
Yes, it
saw
was.
nothing but hip hop acts.
Let's get it.
So we
Started off with Armani White.
Armani White, who
Banger, Griselda God.
I don't think you're
Is that Griselda?
No, you're thinking of a different guy. This is the guy who does Goated. He does that Billie Eilish song, Big T-shirt Billie Eilish.
Oh,
Yeah, he's like a pop
I'm thinking about
rapper.
somebody else. I'm
Yeah, no.
completely
Yeah.
wrong. I'm sorry.
No,
He
you're
was
thinking
passing out
of
fruit
the girl.
snacks.
You're thinking of the girl.
Yes, I was
Armani
thinking about the
Caesar.
girl.
Yeah,
The
you're
whole
thinking-
time thought it was Armani Caesar. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you thought Armani Caesar. No, Armani.
Although I do like Armani White, I
Yeah.
just thought it was somebody else.
Dude, he did a great set. Dude, the energy for Armani White.
Phenomenal.
First off, he was doing it at noon on like a 95-degree day, and he was doing the worm on stage. He was throwing out fruit snacks and water bottles. Like,
Okay,
He
I
had
respect
water
that.
guns.
dude, he
I'm
had
sorry,
water guns.
Armani White. I was wrong.
He definitely wanted us to think for a second he was going to bring out Denzel Curry. Like, he definitely.
Ooh.
That would have been dope.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because
he
like,
definitely-
yeah,
like, he,
they're,
like,
they're really close.
Yeah, because they're like really close friends. He's like, hey, do you guys know my friend Denzel Curry? And everyone goes crazy. He's like, he's not
He's
here
on
right
the
now.
new album.
Yeah.
He's on the new album.
Yeah,
so
he's
I
on
get
the
it.
new. I love that song
Yeah.
on the new album. I love the
Love
song
that, love
the
that.
Goated song they did together. Dude, the energy was great. Honestly, do you know who it reminded me a lot in terms of just like, like above average like vocal performance combined with like S tier like stage presence was like Little Uzi Vert.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Although
reminded me-
Uzi's on a bigger stage or a
Yeah,
bigger.
he had a bigger. Yeah, he definitely was a bigger guy and like a bigger crowd. But like, I'm just talking about like in terms of like what they're doing on the stage, right? Just that insane stage,
Slipping into the crowd
Exactly.
and
doing
yeah,
all
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Love that. Okay.
So Armani White, honestly, like, and I think Armani White is also like a great example of like this is a festival set. Like I don't like I saw SZA and Vince Staples, and I'm like, this is great. I'm gonna go see them on tour and get like the full experience. Armani White, this felt like the full experience.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
that. I'm sorry I'm mistaken him. Hell
Yeah. The next one I want to talk about, probably my favorite set of the weekend. Kenny Beats.
The Kenny Beats?
Kenny Beats. Okay, so first off, this
That is
is
dope.
like I'm a fan of Kenny Beats. I listen to a lot of his DJ sets. This was not what I expected it to be, and it makes sense of why it was. But the thing is, like a lot of Kenny Beats' stuff is very like house and hip, like dance flavored.
Mhm.
Typically, though, it has a lot more hip hop in it than we saw. So
He started like middle of it, had a bunch of hip hop, and then it kind of broke up, and then
So-
finished off with a bunch of hip hop.
yeah, so it was mostly very like house music and like dancey.
Okay.
And then like he started to and like he would and like that's really like what he does is like it's like house music, dancey music with a ton of hip hop samples. Like most Kenny
Mhm.
Beats sets, that's what it is. And there were a couple of those. There was like Bandit by Don Toliver. He did like a house version of Baby Keem. He did like a house version of like he did like a few like house cut ups of hip hop songs. And then at the end he just did like some song like just like straight up playing some hip hop songs, which was great. He did, we got to do Fiend in the crowd. Rachel got Fiend for the first time. It was great. He did Not Like Us, and there was this guy in front of us who was stepping like a pro. Like,
Bro,
dude, he was in
I saw
all
the
Would have made
video?
you jealous.
yeah.
You would have been jealous.
Bro, I saw the video and I was like, no one's gonna think that's me. Like I saw it on the story and I was like, that's not me. It
Yeah.
He's
just
too
doesn't-
skinny. He's too tall and
not,
skinny.
Not even like it doesn't work. But it was dope.
Dude,
The
it was
story looked
fucking
good and the
so
music
dope.
sounded
It was
good.
so great. I totally would not have minded if it was like a more traditional Kenny Beat set where it was more hip hop throughout. But I think considering that like it was Saturday, it was like a very EDM centric day, and like Skrillex had like cultivated everything that was on that stage. Like he played at noon and then again at the headliner, which is kind of the one I wish we
And it
went
was
to.
named after, like, the stage was named after him.
Yeah,
The
so he
Sunny
did a
stage.
much more EDM
Like,
focused
yeah.
set, which
That's
I don't.
crazy that he went up twice though.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so I totally get why Kenny Beats did a more like EDM house music like focused set like in that context. It was fucking awesome. It was one of my favorite sets of the weekend. Besides maybe the next one.
This was probably my favorite set of all weekend was seeing Killer Mike.
Yeah, Killer Mike, dude.
I'm sad that I missed that, but I
Dude.
think there's going to be a tour, so I'm willing to hold off for the tour.
So
He's been doing all the festivals. Like, he was just here for Pitchfork. He did the after show after he had his performance. Like, he's been on the road a lot.
He's been grinding a lot, yeah. And yeah, so I've technically seen Killer Mike a ton because I've seen Run the Jewels a bunch.
Yeah.
But this was unlike anything. He had maybe not a full choir, but 5 choir singers who had amazing
voices.
Insane. This is the nuts, just nuts.
Should I read the text that you sent me?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, when Talking That Shit came on, I put this text out, and it was because he had a mixed choir. There was one male and the rest were female, but they were bad bitches. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go through it. Just do your thing.
I don't even remember the full conversation because I screenshotted that one single text. You said these choir girls are about to throw ass, and I lost it. I was at home dying.
Yeah, I mean, they were just. I mean,
Jeff, did
he's
they
not
not
wrong.
Did the choir girls not throw ass?
He is not wrong. He is not wrong.
Dude, I told Rachel that, and she's like, "That's what Purvis needs."
Yeah.
The only thing this performance was missing was a religious going to church black boy.
Yeah, that was it. It was.
We needed you there.
We needed you.
It would have been me. I'm sorry.
He literally. So he did down. One of my favorite things is Down by Law has the amazing CeeLo Green feature, and he just let the vocalist from the choir do it. Dude, it was awesome. I loved how
he did Never Scared, a remix of that.
Yeah,
from
his
original way back.
His original hit. My favorite thing is that at some point he let all the choir like introduce themselves, and they all did like soulful covers of other songs. I do not remember what the women did, but my favorite one was like because it was 4 women and 1 dude, and the dude did the vocal hook from Flashing Lights, the Kanye song.
Oh.
And it went hard, dude. He did it better than the album. It was 100% like better than the version you hear every time you listen to the song.
I love that.
He did a Big Boy cover of Kill Jill.
He brought out Erin Allen Kane, who's all over Michael. She's on a bunch of other stuff. I think she's on Jid's project. I think she's on.
She's also from Chicago.
Oh, she's from Chicago? I know she's on The Dungeon. I know that's her
Yeah, that's why he brought her out. He said, bringing out one of your own from Chicago.
Yeah. And he finished with.
He went acapella for Humble Me. Which was amazing.
And it also makes total sense because the song just came out, and he's like, listen, we have to like rehearse, like to do songs like.
Hear me out here.
He was just like, yeah, we have not made the version of it, which I thought was like humbling and awesome. Yes. I think the only thing I would have wanted out of this was, dude, so the DJ he had, because there was a DJ along with the choir, obviously, because he was still playing a hip hop show, had the Run the Jewels thing on it, like the symbol.
It's the Run the Jewels.
It's the Run the Jewels DJ. Yeah, obviously. Nice. But the whole time I'm like, is that shifty white bastard back there? Like,
come out, I dare you.
You get out here, Jamie. You get out here right now. And I'm think,
not gonna lie.
And I do think like if this had just had that song with the 2 of them off Michael, no Run the Jewels song. I actually would not have wanted a Run the Jewels song here. But you bring out LP to do the one song he's on Michael. That would have been nuts. And this was easily the best hip hop show of the weekend. And with the exception of Kenny Beats and technically Chappell Roan, this is definitely my favorite show of the weekend.
Yeah. And it leads into
Oh, sorry. I was
What?
gonna say, as soon as you sent me the video to shed tears, I knew I messed up. I was
Dude.
like, damn, I should be there.
Dude, it was so
That,
good. It was so
that
good.
hit. That hit.
So
Dude.
good.
It's my favorite song. But anyway,
Yeah.
on
That leads
to.
into one of the worst performances
The worst
all
performance
weekend.
of the weekend. Yeah. This was
I'm so
One of
sorry,
my
Jeff.
worst performances I've seen ever.
yeah.
Jeff, I'm so sorry.
I mean,
I
like,
Like you guys talked of
like
how Future
we saw Babytron,
is
so
good.
it's like
Like so
Look, I
Metro
apologize.
Boomin put out a screenshot of a text saying they were there a half hour early. They went on a half hour late. They were there an hour and a half early. They went on a half hour late because stage was not set up.
yeah.
They ended up getting 100 guys of their own to get on stage and help the crew of
That's more on
Lollapalooza to
Lala.
get their stage.
Yeah, and there's
That's
like
more on Lala than them.
footage of like the stagehands like
There was a
fighting
fight
each
that
other.
broke out
Yeah. So
on
I
stage.
What?
so like I 100% put the lateness on Lala at that point. To be honest with you,
That's
like
crazy.
I think we could talk
Oh,
about
I
like
put that on. I definitely put that on.
I think we
but
could talk
they
about
also
like
cut 'em
other
off
shit.
right at 10.
Yeah. No. Now that
It sounds
is
like a Lala issue, if anything.
That was a Lala issue, but
and the cutting
my
off.
biggest issue was Future lip singing.
See, that's
And I
like
heard the Hulu live stream. They didn't even have a steady cam. They were only using drone footage.
oh, that's annoying.
That is a little
Yeah.
annoying.
And like it was like it was like a much less. It was kind of the exact opposite of the Summer Smash show, like
Which is really unfortunate because that's a top 5 performance for me.
well, like, and I say that in the sense that also like this was a very high production value show, and the Summer Smash show he was just a DJ and a mic, and like maybe
And this
a
was their
couple
only show in
fireworks.
Chicago on this tour.
Yeah,
that does suck.
and I also like I don't know, because like I was like massively disappointed because I was very excited for this because I saw Future last year and it was fucking incredible. This is the biggest drop in quality in the same artist I have ever seen, ever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
And I'm
is
looking, they did a lot of songs. Still.
Is it the worst show?
They
I've
weren't
ever
even.
seen?
They weren't all full. They weren't full versions
Yeah.
of all of them.
Because they all have have features. They didn't do the features. One of the worst things I think
They went quick.
like I think like one of the most like the worst thing they did was they did like that and they didn't let the feature play.
Yeah.
Like how do you like don't get me wrong, I legitimately like the rest of that song like that a lot. Like,
but you know why we're here.
You know why we're here though, right? Like
you know why we're here. That's
right.
the important part.
So like I on one hand, like them getting cut off right at 10, like, yeah, that sucked. Like, because when someone I compare it a lot to the Cactus Jack show we saw at Summer Smash. because to me I think it was one better than the rest of the Cactus Jack boys. Like, cause even with the lip singing, like I noticed it. It was it was noticeable. It wasn't so much lip singing as much as just like not saying the lyrics. Like it's hard. Like I don't want to call it lip singing because I don't think there was any effort to bamboozle anyone.
I don't know. There was some parts where I'm looking at the screen because I was pretty far back and I'm looking at the screen and I see his lips moving, but you can tell he's not rapping.
Yeah, I just felt like he wasn't saying shit. I just felt like he was just mumbling into the microphone. Right?
Yeah,
like when I see lip singing, I think of like someone like Ashley Simpson on like SNL. And like in terms of like just like standing there and just vibing to your own music, like, and I've said this in the group chat, like I thought this is nowhere near the worst I've ever seen. Like I saw Babytron was way worse. Sofago last year was way Sofago I thought like at Summer Smash way worse. I thought Shaq West last year way worse.
Jesus.
What I will say though is, you know, the line there's like a direct line through that Cactus Jack set, and you know I think Travis blew Future out of the water this year. But
it was just a disaster from the get go.
It was disappointing. It was really, really disappointing.
And one thing that kind of irked me is like Future didn't come out and say any like apologize or any of that. Metro Boomin, on the other hand, he came out and said something, but like Future being the bigger name, I think he should have at least came out and said, you know, hey, sorry. it's not on us. Where it was the stagehands that took forever setting up.
Sure.
It wasn't our call to get cut off right at 10. We apologize. Something like that.
I I understand like why. Yeah, I get that.
It's just unfortunate.
It's
Made out of
unfortunate, and like,
anything.
and the other thing is that on one hand, it's uh like like going later. Like Cactus Jack was a half hour late too, but they still did their full set, right? Like they
Yeah.
were billed for an hour, they performed for an hour, so it's kind of hard to mark that against them. It's still annoying when people are so late.
And there's no curfew out there. There's a
Yeah,
curfew
that's the
downtown.
difference, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I remember last year when we were at Kendrick with Sophie and Kendrick went over, he was like, he would go off stage for the encore. And Sophie, if you see this, I'm so sorry if I'm misquoting you. And she was like, he's signing something saying he recognizes that he's going to pay a certain amount of fine to like go over. And like,
Mhm.
I don't doubt that
Love
like
that.
most of the other headliners went over this weekend. That makes sense. Most of the
The
headliners.
Killers who went up against Metro and Future, the Killers, they went over by like 15.
Yeah. But like Hosier
Yeah,
did
it's
it.
15.
I don't think SZA did because like SZA only had 2 more songs and
No.
we were like 15 minutes. Like we were way more.
I think she
like,
went over by like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So like
Because she was in the middle of her last song.
yeah. So I was very very disappointed. I think like worst set I've ever seen might be a bit of a stretch, but most
For
disappointing.
you.
But most disappointing set of the weekend, 100%. Not worst set of the weekend easily.
Yeah, I can't remember any sets that I've really seen that were worse than this.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Trippie Redd, I've seen Playboy Cardi. I thought
was
they
seeing some bad
all
ones.
they all do the thing Future like what you're upset with Future with like way worse.
Yeah,
In
I
many
just really
ways.
haven't seen them. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw Trippie Redd at Lala, I believe. No, 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 yeah, I saw Trippie Redd. He wasn't bad at it when I saw him at Lala.
Trippie Red was decent at Summer Smash. He was
Yeah,
decent.
he wasn't bad at
When he
Lala when
showed
I
up,
saw him.
yeah. All right, so
But that leads
Purvis.
into Purvis going to the
Yeah.
after show.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
Purvis could not go to the churchy one.
I did not go to any of the Lala events. I did buy a ticket for Thursday to see Tyler, but oh well, it is what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's a shame because I think he would have been a great.
it would have been phenomenal. But
He would have done amazing.
we look, I'll see him eventually, I'm sure. But anyway, we
He's
we
here
move
every
on.
2 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll see him eventually. What I did see instead of that, I saw Vince Staples was having an after show. Dark Times came out this year. It is, I won't give it a number, but it's in my top 5 albums of this year so far. And on top of that, I have a couple of friends. Shout out Ross, shout out Chapco. They came in from Iowa, so we had a nice little group coming into town to see Vince Staples. He performed at the Vic Theater. It was my first time there. I gotta say, I love it. I love the Vic Theater. I think it's a dope venue. The entire balcony is general admission and it is seats, which was very clutch for me because I messed up my ankle this weekend. So the venue, phenomenal. Highly recommend. If an artist is going there, I'll be there.
So wait, I've never seen a actual concert at the Vic. So like when you say joining all mission, so is it like first come first serve seating, like
For
for
the
your
most
stop?
part, yeah, pretty
So
much.
like if
So
you're first there,
I saw Action Bronson there, and it was all like just open, like
Yeah,
the
so,
Metro. It was like there was no because I've been there for comedy shows and there's always seats, but I haven't seen any.
well, he was on the balcony. That's why I'm asking.
Oh
Because
yeah,
he was on the balcony.
yeah. If you're on the balcony, I
Yes.
don't know.
So on the Vic Theater, obviously the main floor is all standing. Just fill in as you go. I don't know if there is VIP seating. If there was, actually, no, I'm lying. There was VIP seating. So on the balcony, the front middle was VIP seating. So you
Okay.
can sit down. It was reserved. I didn't know that. I tried to sit in like the back row of the VIP, and the guy was like, "Hey, just like sit in one of the other seats." Totally cool about it. All the staff members was cool. As I said, I messed up my ankle, so that was actually extremely clutch. So the venue was dope. I will go back to the Vic Theater any day. Now that I got the venue out the way, to the actual music, the opener was a screamo. group something no one recognized, I asked literally everyone that I could.
That's
No one
hilarious.
knew who it was.
That is
It was
almost
very
as
awkward.
About
funny.
this,
That's almost as
speaking of
funny. What?
you seen a screamo, I told
Yeah.
Brandon and Rachel that we need you to learn the drums to be part of a
Oh, I
screamo
can play
band.
drums. I'll do that, but
Oh yeah,
Well,
because
not
Pierce
in
the Veil.
screamo.
Veil
we're gonna
has
have you
a
join a screamo band.
yeah. Pierce the Veil has a black drummer, and he sent that, and we all agreed. Rachel was very much like, no, Jeff's right. We should do this.
It's Rachel knows, but I would definitely be able to pick up the drums, but that's asking a lot. I'll put it that way. But
You'll be
yeah,
the black drummer for a screamo band.
it'll be something. But I know I did pull up the name, and I texted you guys, but I can't find it right now. But regardless, opening group was some screamo black guy. Was very off putting, to be honest, and no one knew who it was.
So random.
Extremely random. But after that, I ended up on the balcony long before Vince Staples came out. Vince Staples did come out, and it wasn't the best performance. I'll be honest. I don't know if it was as bad as how you guys are saying Future was, but Vince Staples himself was putting in full effort. That at least I could tell. He was very passionate. He was interacting with the crowd. He performed the best he could, but he did make us aware very early in the set that the engineer that he had, that is a part of his team, put every single song that Vince Staples ever made on a flash drive, which is about 160 gigabytes.
Is his
And
engineer a white?
he was off screen. I think he was too embarrassed to come out.
Because honestly, this sounds like something a white person will do.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but the engineer put everything on a flash drive, and the flash drive essentially broke the computer. They had two computers. The first one that they put it into essentially broke the computer. The majority of the songs that he had planned for the set list, he did have a full scheduled set list. Like 90% of the songs they could not play. Some of the songs that they could play were missing part of the mixing. So it was either missing the drums, or it was missing the bass, or it was missing some kind of synth. So it essentially just became karaoke. And he even openly admitted that. He was like, hey guys, I'm sorry. The computers, like, he took time out of the concert to fully explain to us, like, this is what's going on. This is why it sounds like this. I will say the majority of the songs at the beginning that he played did seem kind of out of place because they were not like well-known songs, or were they from like dark times really. But eventually he wanted to play his bigger songs, but even the bigger songs that he had, anything that was older than Ramona Park, it didn't have the full song. The first big song that he played was for 745, and it was missing the drums, and you could tell because like when it was hitting,
yeah,
everything, like you felt it in the seats, but when it wasn't, it was just like kind of him up singing. So the show lasted less than an hour, unfortunately. Anything other than Ramona was not complete in the performance, the actual music sounding. And then he tried his best. And I think by the end, even he himself was like, I'm kind of over it. Like it was pretty obvious that by the end of it, I'm serious, he did not reach an hour. He said, I'll be back in October. I'm sorry, y'all. If you see me in the street, I'll give you $1. Like he literally said that. And then he kind of walked off stage.
Damn. I saw him walk to his viewing area for Blink 182. I should have asked him for $1.
Yeah, it was, in terms of actual like technical difficulties, this was the worst show I've ever seen. Wow. But in terms of effort, he went out there, he did the best he could. He did the songs that were loading onto the computer, and I enjoyed myself. I really did.
Yeah.
Black and Blue smacked. It was complete. It was full.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
It hit. Like I will say, out of his 10 biggest songs, he was able to do like 3 of them. It was very unfortunate. But what I heard, I was satisfied. And he
just announced a tour too.
No, yeah. He even told us, he said, don't like put this on social media. I'm gonna be back in Chicago in October. I'm adding a show to the tour. It's like the
He's
original
gonna be
tour
at the
didn't have
Riviera.
Chicago. Yeah, now he's going to be here in October. I'm debating if I want to go because
I believe
honestly,
it's October 27th.
yeah, I feel like this is karma because we had a chance to see Vince last year at Summer Smash and we didn't give him enough
Time.
attention. Like
Yeah,
we literally saw him for like 15 minutes and then dipped to go see someone else, which I get it. It's
we
fine.
dipped
It
to
was a
go
lot
see
of
Kid
people
Cudi.
last year.
Like I think it was either Kid Cudi or Playboy.
I think it was Kid Cudi because I know
No,
Jasper
because it was
really wanted to-
Sunday. It was Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
Yeah,
Okay, then it
it was
was
Playboy.
definitely Ricardo.
No.
Which I mean, I get it. It is what it is. So I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna charge to the game. I'm gonna take the L. I'm gonna call it karma. It is what it is. Maybe I'll see you in October.
Yeah.
I know I
I'll
missed
leave it
his
at
set at Lala.
I'm
So-
gonna be honest with you guys. Can we skip forward to talk about Vince Staples and we'll go back
Yeah.
to do Tizo?
Yes.
Yeah, it's our podcast. Who gives a shit? So I thought he was really good. Like there were no technical issues. This man made his manager go to the only Walmart that sells MacBooks in the state, right? Like,
and figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
figure
And buy
this out.
2 of them.
Yeah, no, there was.
Right.
This was a rock solid show. There was no audio
Good.
issues. However, it does seem, but he didn't do a lot of those big hits from before Big Fish.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder
like,
why.
he didn't do 745. He didn't do like the only song he did that that I'm seeing on the doc had technical issues was North North.
Okay.
And on one hand,
Which is one of his biggest ones.
which is his biggest song.
Yeah.
On one hand, it didn't sound like there was anything wrong. On the other hand, that's the song that the crowd gets into the most. So I do feel like if there was something missing, it's harder to tell, but I don't know. The
Yeah,
dude did
that's true.
incredible. It did feel very not surface level, but like, like he's kind of just doing like a smattering of his hits. It was honestly because it was another 90-degree day and he's out there in cargo pants and a long sleeve shirt and I'm like, what is this?
I don't know why artists do this. Though.
I don't know like what you're
understand
trying
that.
to prove, but
He's yelling at a white boy.
yeah. Oh, the best part is he brings a white boy on stage, immediately asks him if he says the N-word.
And the
Like,
boy
before
and
you
the
say
guy-
anything.
and he says maybe. He doesn't say no. He says maybe. Vince
Bold.
Staples asks, "Are you going to say the N-word?" He goes, "Maybe, not no."
That's funny.
And then he gets on stage and doesn't even know the lyrics. He gets
Yeah,
on
that's
stage and doesn't
embarrassing.
even know the lyrics. Like,
It's the white guy.
What?
For you. The token white guy in front row. I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So, but it was like a lot of fun. He closed with Black and Blue, which was incredible, which was the best
It
song he did.
slapped.
It's an
It-
incredible
it
song.
slapped.
So the thing is, he is an artist where like, listen, if I was employed right now, I would be buying tickets to his tour in October, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because he seems like the kind of artist where I feel like, you go see certain artists. I think someone like a Future, someone like a, when he does good, someone like maybe even like a Hozier. Like it's better in the festival setting. Like you're seeing Hozier
Mhm.
outside with thousands of people, like
in the rain.
in the rain. That's
It's different.
you're never. It hits different. Vince, I feel almost the opposite. I feel like he is going to excel in
Want to be up
in a
close
venue.
to
in a
it.
controlled
Inside a venue.
tour setting. I feel the same way about SZA.
Absolutely.
Well, SZA is more just like, SZA was more just, she's so good. I just want to see her again in a different context. But
Mhm.
like Vince, it was like, this is great. But the thing is, ultimately, was it one of my favorite shows of the weekend? No.
Yeah.
But I have no dings. I got
Yeah.
no shit to say to Vince Staples about it. I thought it was hilarious that he was like, during the middle of the set, he was like, "Are y'all seeing Blink 182? I'll be in the crowd because I'm still from California."
I
He's like,
respect
"Don't
that.
you say shit to me."
Honestly, he's very like connected to the crowd. So
Yeah.
I
He does a
I
lot
will
of crowd
say-
work in a very unintrusive way. So
Yes.
this was a great set. It did a lot to endear Vince Staples to me, which did he need? Probably not. But like,
I basically got a comedy set on top of a concert because he was just cracking jokes the whole time.
Yeah, 'cause he's
He was
funny as
even
fuck.
telling us the shirts that he was selling that was super cheap that I unfortunately was unable to get. He lost like $300K on those shirts because
Yeah.
they're all like mislabeled. They have like misspelling on it.
That's insane.
So he's just clearly he's been dealing with a lot, and even the after show that he was doing, he was just trying to add on top of it, and it just didn't help.
Yeah.
It just didn't help.
All right. So
But
let's
enjoy.
circle back. Let's talk our
Tizo.
favorite little freak, Tizo. Disappointed he did not have the nails in his hair. I wonder if
He didn't.
No, I wonder if he had like a bald cap on.
Well, whatever.
I
And he was
wonder-
singing into a bouquet of roses.
That was
That's
cool.
classic though.
I like that.
That's known Tizo.
Oh, is that a thing he does? I just thought it was
He
cool.
always does that. Yeah, singing.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. But he didn't have
He was
the
wearing
nails.
gloves.
Yeah, he was wearing big ass gloves. He didn't have
Yep.
the nails in. I wonder if it's because of the stray he caught on Not Like Us. Like But no, dude, just in terms of vocal chops, absolutely
Phenomenal.
phenomenal. You
Love
know,
that.
I ended up leaving this set early.
yeah. And I will say he did make an egregious error. He
What's
only
that?
did the first part of Too Easy.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he did
What?
not do the second part at all.
Only do the second part, if anything.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that's what I thought.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But I do have to say, I think his rendition of Modern Jam was
Ooh, that's actually kind of dope.
because he does the entire verse. He does Travis's verse. He raps Travis's part, and then he does his part. That was awesome. That was a highlight of the whole weekend for me. So, but honestly, just like Vince, like it was kind of just more of a very good commercial for a Tizo concert, like a tour. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to see him this time because he's opening for Don. I'm not seeing Don again, but like.
Mm-mm.
And also, I would like for him to put out music I liked more, just because, like, you know, I like Tizo's stuff, but I don't love it. And like, there's only so much for me. There's only so much you can get past.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, Jeff, you want to talk about
And-
Teddy Swims and Pierce the Veil?
Yeah, so I left Tizo Touchdown a little early to meet up with a former coworker at Teddy Swims and just to get a really good view of the stage. If you haven't heard of him, I think of him as like a pop bluesy version of Jelly Roll and Action Bronson combined.
That's
He has all the
insane
tattoos
combination.
No.
because he just like he has that stage presence and like personality
I
of
will say,
action, but he sounds kind of like more bluesy, like Jelly Roll. That's why I combined them. And he came out in a Bulls 69 jersey with Swims on the back. He came out with a gold mic stand and microphone to sing into and no shoes.
that's awesome.
In no shoes is crazy.
And no
You
shoes.
had me until the no shoes.
And no shoes. He was phenomenal on stage. He played new unreleased music, and him and Benson Boone were two of my top 5 favorite performances seeing. Like I wasn't expecting him to be that good, but
Yeah.
seeing him live, I'm definitely gonna probably see him live again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Every independent artist I know in Chicago was at the Teddy Swims show.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's dope.
everyone I know who is actually making music and doing shows in the city, like through friends and stuff, they were all at the Teddy Swims show. So he's an artist I want to dive into.
yeah, he's very good. He has a really good voice.
And you just caught the last couple songs of Sir too.
And
Another
then
great singer.
after Teddy Swims, and he was on at the same time Vince Staples. So after that, we reconvened and got lunch and went our separate ways. So I caught the last couple songs of Sir, and
I'm
from
glad
what I
told you
caught,
to go.
he was
I
really
kind of wish I
good.
would have saw him. I kind of wish I would have saw him.
I'm kind of shocked you did. Dude, I told you guys, sir, he goes hard. I don't care
He
what
went
anybody
really
It was
hard.
just that was during
He-
time we were like, oh, let's just stay out of the sun for a little bit so we don't die.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
get it.
So like we had to bite the bullet on one or the other, but we ended up missing Zakari making a surprise performance with him.
Oh yeah.
Was the other
And he just
So-
dropped an album.
Yeah. Did Zakari just drop an
Yeah.
album?
He just
He
dropped
did.
one
He
too.
dropped one like a couple months ago.
TDE's been cooking. I'm telling y'all.
So
Yeah.
so kind of like
We've all
upset.
been
We
there.
could have saw
Yeah,
4 TDE artists within the last 2 weeks.
that's
Yeah.
insane.
And then as I was seeing The Last of Sir, I was walking over to Pierce the Veil so I can have a good spot for Blink. Pierce the Veil, they're just like your typical alternative rock screamo punk band.
Yeah.
Like
I'm aware
They were good.
They're good live. They are very good live because I've listened to a good amount of Pierce the Veil because I have a little sister who went to Warped Tour.
Yeah,
And it's just I've always just found them to be like really whiny and like really annoying and like
exactly.
they were just like always the kind of like they were always the other artists in the same sphere that I like. That they're obviously super talented. They brought a girl on stage. They were much nicer to her than Vince Staples was. Like,
Well, like the girl they brought on is the original Selfie Machine album cover girl that they had.
yeah.
So
So
that it kind of was like a small world. Like it wasn't like they didn't even make that happen. Like it just happened. But during their whole set, I was just there smoking joint after joint.
yeah,
Like
like I don't like I thought they were good. I just I just am aware of their music and I'm just not a fan.
there was a mosh pit that broke out right behind me because there was some drunk morons just kept saying, "Open up the pit, open up the pit,"
Jesus Christ.
and like it was a very older crowd around me, and
Yeah.
no one wanted to open it up.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's not a thing. You don't do that there.
No.
Now,
Uh,
I will say,
yes,
because like
and then Brandon and
we were
Brandon and
across
Rachel,
the
you
way.
guys saw
We saw what's the name of them?
Two Door Cinema Club.
Two Door Cinema Club. It's always
Collins Dock.
yeah. So I've seen them before. I saw them in I think like 2021 Riot Fest, and I like them. I've always just heard them because people in my life are fans of them, and they have like some really big songs. They're what I like to call fancy pants rock. They're the kind of people who do shows in dress shoes. And it's I thought they were very, very good. Like they were very, very good. But yeah, they're the kind of band that performs in dress shoes and button ups and like. But I will say is that they had a really, really densely packed crowd, like a huge fucking crowd. Like me and Rachel were kind of fighting for our life. It was honestly like in terms of comfort, it was kind of worse than Chappell.
Wow.
And then as we made our way over to Blink-182 had obviously a much bigger crowd, but they had a much bigger stage.
They had a massive crowd.
They had a much bigger, but they had a bigger stage, so people just weren't as like bunched up.
As combined, no,
Yeah.
I would agree because like
Yeah.
I was in the middle, like I was by the rail, by the middle, like just short people problems. I like getting close to the stage because I like to see the act perform, and the crowd around me was like very tame.
Yeah. Oh, the crowd around us was a lot of people were sitting down. Like it was very relaxed. It was the Blink-182 crowd was really, really nice. It was a really pleasing set. And honestly, this was the perfect way to end the weekend. This was, Blink-182 is a classic pop punk band. Listen, they're very immature and like that's most of their like album names are like puns for jerking off. So I understand why they said that they were going to fuck each other's moms 4 times during the set. But it's like...
Or get STDs and call the bean a clitoris.
Yeah. My favorite was when they... My favorite was they just do a bunch of... Yeah. My favorite was they were just... At a certain point, they just they just finished their song. It's like, all right, guys, the next song's a real serious one, and it's honestly kind of a bummer.
That's crazy. Okay.
But I mean, that's just how they are.
But that's just how they are. It's their presence, and I'm happy they committed to the bit. And they had,
exactly
all their hits. They did, I think, an excellent, just smattering of across their oeuvre, including like covers by their side projects. I do like Travis Barker. I think Travis Barker is a good drummer and like is super talented. He's he's very much my favorite member of Blink-182, and we got that fucking incredible drum solo from him.
Solo.
Yeah, I love a great drum solo.
I don't know if it was suspended in the air. Yeah,
I don't know if
he's one of the top. I'd say top 5, top 10 drummers of our generation.
I would say 100%. My thing is that I think when you look at the stuff he's done outside of drumming, I get more impressed. Not necessarily more impressive than his drumming, just that I think it's been like I think he's produced a lot of stuff that I think is really, really good. I think he's played on a lot of stuff that's like really, really good. So that's like not like his bands. So I don't know. I don't know if the drum set was as like face meltingly intense as like the Turnstile drum solo from last year, but it was fucking incredible.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't compare it to like the Red Hot Chili Peppers drum solo I
yeah,
saw last year, or
yeah,
even like the Taylor Hawkins with Foo Fighters that I saw, or even the Dave Grohl one I saw.
yeah. And then,
So yeah,
so
no, I would
they went
agree.
through a whole lot of their things, and then they did all of their hits at the end. First day, all the small things, damn it. And then,
What's my age again?
what's my age again, which is incredible live. That was my favorite part. Like I was waiting for damn it. Like
Yeah,
that is like my favorite Blink-182 song. And I know it's a
same.
base. I know it's a basic choice, but I think it's like because the thing about Blink-182 is they have like two kinds of songs. They have songs that have like actually like a good amount of like substance and meaning and like depth to them. And then they have songs that are just meant that are just like fun to sing at Lollapalooza, like all the small things, right? And like not one's better or
Yeah.
worse. But I think Damn It is like the best song to end on because it's kind of like both. It's like a very hard hitting,
Hmm.
fun song that does have like a lot of substance to it. But I think the thing that really made it like a cultural moment was as they finished Damn It, they transitioned into a cover of Chappell Roan's Pink Pony Club.
And it was
Really?
phenomenal.
It was
And from what
dude,
I've saw,
Chappell's
they do that
subreddit
at
is
every show.
apparently they do
Every
a different
show they do a
artist.
different song.
Yeah, they do a
Yeah,
different song. Yeah, they do. And I think the
Okay.
fact that they chose Pink Pony Club for Lollapalooza was perfect.
it
And
was spot on.
dude, I want
Like
them to release that cover.
they need to. It
Yeah,
was so perfect.
dude, it
Just
was
going right into that.
yeah, just going right into it. Like, dude, the
It's
smile on
Chappell's world, and we're living in it.
the smile on every girl's face in that area when they started playing Pink Pony Club was off the fucking walls. Like it was
Yeah,
that was
This
that
is
was
their moment.
yeah.
Like,
You know, well, it was a nice tip of the hat, you know, like of the, you know, the artist who like was, you know, making a name for themselves in Lollapalooza in the early 2000s, you know, tipping their
hmm,
hat to the artists who
yeah,
made their name this year, you know, like
yeah.
it's good to be
I,
aware of
I
these
don't
things.
like how corporate Lollapalooza is because I am a communist, but like, but I do like acknowledge that like it's a cultural institution at this point, you know, like Coachella,
Yeah.
like, you know, not a lot of festivals get to that point.
Bonnaroo.
Or
Yeah.
Bonnaroo is another example. Or
Well, Bonnaroo and Lala are done by the same
yeah,
parent company.
yeah.
So, I
Yeah,
mean, one thing I would say is like what felt like a scene out of a movie is as they were doing their goodbyes and Don't Stop Believing happened. As soon as Don't Stop Believing ended and the crowd's walking away, everyone was still singing the damn song.
yeah.
It just was
It was
like
a
we're
wild weekend.
walking through Grant Park, quiet as can be, and you just hear everyone singing "Don't Stop Believing." It was like
That's
it sounded
good.
like one of the most beautiful things ever.
That's a nice touch. That reminds me of when we went to the Donna experience.
Yeah,
Almost like you're going to like heaven. All these like carts
yeah.
are going by
It really
different
was. It
Mhm.
was
generations, and
yeah. But yeah, no, this was the most stacked, well done festival I've ever been to. So this 10 out of 10, A plus.
Lala's been stepping up their game.
Dude,
I
it's
won't lie.
wild. It's
They've
Yeah.
been
wild.
stepping it up.
And
I
like
don't like the lineups as much, but they are stepping it up in quality.
I think like this lineup was like just rock solid. I have a like this. I think there's a reason why this was their best selling year, and since before the
Yeah,
pandemic.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do we want to do predictions for next year?
Just like an artist in general.
Yeah, just like
Yeah,
artists.
just one artist. Who do you think?
Please, the weekend. That's
Yeah,
all
I want the weekend the headline.
That's
That's,
all I
what I
care
want.
about.
I want the weekend the headline. I think the other one,
Literally nothing else.
I think there's two other ones I would like. I would like that Mexican OT. I think that'd be awesome.
That's fine. Yeah.
And another one, I think someone who I don't think quite the same like Chappell moment because obviously they're famous now, so therefore they can't like have like that rapid rise to stardom. But I think Shabuzi is someone who could really like make a name for themselves.
I agree, but I feel like he's gonna get more attracted to like Country Thunder and those country festivals more.
I don't doubt that he would also like. I think he would do Country Thunder. I just don't know if those are like mutually exclusive because I do think with
No,
with
no.
Bar
I just
Song being such a huge mainstream
yeah,
hit, I think, I think it's definitely possible, and I think he's an artist who I
yeah.
think. Another one, someone who was supposed to be here this year but wasn't, was Tommy Richmond. I would love to see Tommy Richmond.
Oh,
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I think we can see
I
Tommy
want to wait till
Richmond.
he gets an album.
Yeah,
The
that's the
Weeknd.
other thing.
The weekend
Definitely.
is high.
The weekend I wanted
is
the
very
headline.
high
Yeah.
for me.
I
Next time
I
he's
think
Chicago, I will be there.
Dude,
that.
I need. That's why I'm
I
like
think
so
we might
stressed
get.
out.
I think Tyler might do next year just to make it up.
Yeah,
He better fucking figure something out.
yeah.
No.
He's either
He
gonna do
better
next
figure
year or
something
never
out.
again.
Frank
Don't say
Ocean
Frank
and
Ocean.
yeah.
No,
Don't
Frank
say
No,
Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean and Lady Gaga are two others
Man,
that I would.
I
You know
watched
who
an
I
I mean,
hour
was-
yeah,
video
I
about
know Frank
Blonde this
Ocean did
morning. I'm
terrible.
over it.
I know Frank Ocean was terrible at Coachella, but
No,
he needs redemption
he
some way
just
somehow.
he just. I just don't think he ever would. I would love it. I would love if he went to Lollapalooza and then was good. But like,
That's a stretch.
yeah. But
that is a fever dream.
But I don't think
Like,
that'll ever happen. I think someone I would like to close on Sunday, like a big legacy rock band. I think I would love the Black Keys.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're that big. I don't think they're big enough to close on a Sunday.
They closed Saturday 10 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, they just had to cancel their tour because they weren't selling tickets.
Fair. Like, I get it, but like it's a different equation when it's a festival.
I get it, but
Yeah.
I think
I would love
when you're
that.
booking bands, I think they're going to play that into a factor. Like they
Yeah.
just canceled a show because they couldn't sell tickets.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I feel like this is turning into who do you want to see in a concert? Who's your top 3 people? Because like for me,
Because like I
it's-
am thinking about like a specific Lollapalooza setting.
okay,
Like the big festival. And like really it's kind of like a big festival setting, right? If for some reason I wound up at Bonnaroo and I saw the weekend, I would be fucking as hyped about it. It's just that like, you know, Lollapalooza is the one that we don't have to travel to. Like
this is true.
I do think the weekend is probably the most likely
yeah.
That's
with
what I
him
mean.
releasing an album. I see
Yeah.
him going the Kendrick route and doing a festival tour either before or after an
Yeah.
actual tour.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna get it this year?
I think
No.
so.
You think we're gonna get it?
What, the album?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's already teasing it.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I won't be shocked. I'll eat my words if I'm wrong, but I think we probably will.
I think we get a
I
January
hope you're
1st.
right.
Yeah.
January 1st.
I don't know if he'll drop in January
do.
because he dropped his last album in January. And
Is
it
he
kinda
known
got
to repeat?
I don't think, but then again, like he released After Hours in March, so who knows?
How many years has it been? 2?
Yeah, it'd be 3 in January, which is actually a long time for him. Like,
Give me The Weeknd. Give me Tyler the Creator, and give me Chance. That. If you're asking me who I want to see live, that's who I want to see live.
in that context,
In that context.
yeah. Give me The Weeknd.
I definitely, yeah.
Give me The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Give me.
Sis is up
Give me the
there, but
weekend. Give me the weekend. Give me Frank and give me Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. Okay.
I still think the thing I want the most, which will never happen, because this would double Chappell Roan, but like. I remember one time Jeff was like, "Oh, I would love to see a Destiny's Child like reunion there," and I'm like,
Oh,
my
bro,
God."
come on.
Yeah. Like it's like, come on.
Let's be real here.
Honestly, I know he's banned, but I would love Travis. I think he fits like a festival setting.
I don't
really
think he's
well.
still banned anymore.
I don't know. Like,
I
I mean,
know.
I think-
feel like I
I
saw the
think the
concert
parent-
tour. That was
I think
enough.
he could also.
I think
be
the parent
unbanned.
company. I think the parent company just has him like red flagged.
Yeah. By the way, do you know what's super funny? This Chappell Roan set, just to demonstrate like how like huge this was. Do you know that this is the second most written about concert set of this decade? And the
Good.
first one was Astroworld.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Like,
A bad thing and a good thing.
it's like
Balance.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm happy
Yeah.
for her. That's good for her.
But yeah, no. So the other one I would love is either Fall Out Boy. I think Fall Out Boy
Interesting.
would be cool, and Rise Against. But that's just because I love Rise Against.
Oh, Daniel Caesar. Now you making me think about
Ooh,
outside of
Daniel
hip hop. I
Caesar,
need to
yeah.
see Daniel Caesar.
Oh, a
I
thing
missed
that
him
will-
last year, and I'll never forget.
A thing that will never happen. This makes Frank Ocean look like a guarantee, but if there was ever a Daft Punk like reunion tour,
Jasper.
dude, because their
Jasper
Lala set
would
is
just
like
like
Jasper would end up on stage somehow. I don't know how, but he would.
Because their Lala,
he'd wet his
their
pants.
set in 2007, you can find it on YouTube, is legendary. I would
That's like saying
Kavinsky.
Outcast. Like, come on.
Kavinsky.
Like-
Kavinsky. That's who
I mean, they're another one that I would want to see.
Yeah, Kavinsky. I would want to see Kavinsky.
Kavinsky,
That's my three. I want Rise Against, The Weeknd, Kavinsky.
Okay.
You know who
Right.
else might actually be probably more likely for next year is Eminem.
I've heard Eminem.
Dude, I've heard a couple people say that.
I've also heard Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah,
She's another one,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
All right, yeah.
that was the
Predictions?
Lala
Recommendations?
Or
episode.
not predictions.
We're never right. We're never right though.
No,
like
we're
we
never.
do Lala predictions every year. We're always wrong.
The only thing
never.
we're right about is talking about a specific artist, and then they're dropping the album like that
Yeah.
weekend. It's surprising. Like,
Hey, I was right about
know.
Vultures too.
Yeah, you're right about Vultures
Right
too.
about-
Mid-year review.
We
I
manifested.
mean,
a Drake
we can
album
say
once.
Vultures 2 every single week, and then eventually it's going to come out. Like, I mean, but yes, we did manifest a Drake album while I was in Jamaica. So,
Yeah.
like, it works. All right, let's do our recommendations. Get out of here.
Okay, so my first recommendation is going to be kind of basic because it's an album we reviewed, but it is just absolutely dominating my brain, and it's "Scared" by Denzel Curry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking incredible. Bitch, you scared? Bitch, you scared? I can't go to bed without a Glock by my bed.
It hits so hard.
Dude.
Oh, what did you say?
With
Oh,
Kenny
you said
Mason and
something
Project
last
Matt?
week. Oh my god, I forgot what you said last week. I died. Keep like a 40 in my panty or something.
40 on
Oh
my panty
my
line, dude. That line
god.
goes hard. I don't give a shit.
Dude, I finally heard it because I re-listened to the album. I was dying laughing.
Dude,
The fact that you said that killed me.
that line goes hard, and I will fucking die on it.
Yeah, I'll go with mine. So I'm going with the new Corday song, Saturday Morning with Lil Wayne. If you guys haven't listened to it, you gotta listen to it. It is
I'll
phenomenal.
listen to that right now.
That
I'll
was
put
a
that on
single,
as a-
right? There's no album out yet.
Yeah, no, that's just the single.
Okay. I will listen to
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, that's just the single. It's phenomenal. You get like 08
Sounds like
Wayne,
old Wayne. Yeah, old Wayne.
old Wayne. You get he goes hard on this. It is a must listen.
I gotta listen. That sounds great. I'm saving it to my
I like
Spotify
that.
right now. Like,
Bad. Okay. My first song credited to TikTok. I'll be recommending Old Gucci Mane, Fat Gucci Mane,
Fat
Ooh.
Gucci.
Fat Gucci.
Ooh.
The song Truck Loaded bangs. Oh my god, it's so good.
That's really good.
Dude. The name alone should be
That's
enough for you to
so
listen
good,
to it.
Yeah,
No, I'll listen
But
to
yeah.
it 100%.
Fat
I love
Gucci
I love
Um,
old Gucci.
Dude, I love old Gucci.
absolutely bangs. Highly
I
recommend.
remember listening to those old Gucci Waka songs back in the day.
It's so good. So good.
Can't say any of the lyrics, but I listened to them. Okay, my next one is by an artist that we literally just talked about, but I listened to his whole album after hearing Big X the Plug play his song, and that's Shabuzi. I listened to his entire album this week. It's good. It's really good. Even it's not one of my favorites of the year, but there's one song on there that stuck in my head all weekend. Not weekend, because I didn't listen to it until this day, but it's called "Last of My Kind." His feature with let me look it up. It's more of his. It's one of his more traditional country songs.
Okay.
But it's "Last of My Kind" with Paul Cawthon. And it's just really good. Like I think Shabuzi is much better when he's combining R&B, hip hop, and country, like in a very authentic way. I think like that's when he's like, like just performing at the top of his game. Because if he's going just straight country, I just think there are better straight country artists out right now. Just because Zach Bryan exists, that's another artist I would like to see next year. Zach Bryan.
Yes.
But this song I think really hits. So yeah.
Approved.
I'm going with my next one. I'm taking us back to the 90s. I'm going with Big Pun. I'm going with Big Pun. It's so hard.
Pun.
Big Pun.
Hey,
Pun.
Big
Jesus
Pun is
Christ.
one of those. He's one of
He's a
those
goat.
big artists that I forget what they call it. He was able to like inhale so much oxygen for
Then he
his
could just
verse,
go.
where he can just go
Yeah.
so hard. And it's like you don't see that in a lot of big artists where they actually like try and work on their lung conditions to take in as much oxygen as they can so they can get out a massive verse.
Yeah.
No, he's one of the most underrated rappers there are because he doesn't have that much workout.
I was 3 years old when the song came out.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right. To close this out, first of all, free Young Thug. But Young
Free
Thug.
Oh,
Thug,
we
yeah.
got a lot of free Young Thug at Lala.
I'm not surprised.
We should have
A
worn
lot.
shorts.
We should have worn shirts or made a
Yep.
big sign. Because
Yeah.
if we had
Put
a
it
big sign,
everywhere.
Killer Mike would have called us out.
Probably
and Metro and
Future.
Future would have.
We would have been up there with Future and being like, "Let me have
We
some
should
lean."
we should have got a helicopter or a plane with a banner for free
Dude,
Thug.
that-
With the banner, free Thug.
Dude, I want to be that kind
Free
of
Young
rich. I
Thug.
want to have a free young.
Hashtag unpaid nobodies.
Yeah.
But yes, Young Thug is featured on the song. I'm saying Young Thug because that's the only part that matters. He's featured on Low Guided song called "Twisting My Fingers." This song, or "Twisting Our Fingers," this song bangs. It sounds like classic Young Thug. It is so good. He starts off the song. It's all you need. It's so good. So
No.
that's what I'm closing out with.
All right. Well, that's our Lollapalooza episode. This is 2 hours.
Go give us a like,
Go
comment,
give us a like,
subscribe.
comment, subscribe. Tell us.
Let
why
us
we're-
know how much we suck.
Yeah, let us know how we suck because it's still engagement. It still counts. Bye.
We're gonna block your comment.